First of all, we will see the login page where we first see login as a clerk. The username is clerk1 and the password is testing at 123. There are many scenarios that can be tested, like an incorrect username, etc. We have made sure to extensively test all of them for this and for all the other features. After logging in, we land on the profile of the clerk. Here we can see the username, their email ID, and the position, along with the transactions that they have made previously. Using the navigation bar, we can move around the website. First, we move on to viewing the inventory. We can see all the products that are present in the inventory. Then we can make a transaction for this clerk one. We first choose milk 1 liter with quantity 2. Then we click on that product. It adds it to the cart. Then we choose a book with quantity 1100. Upon pressing add to cart, we see that only 90 items are left in stock. Since the stock is not sufficient, we'll take only 10 books. It gets added to the cart. Now we enter quantity 2 with ID 2. It adds 2 pencils. As we can look in the view inventory section, the ID 2 is for pencil, since it starts the IDing from 1. So 1 is for book and 2 is for pencil. Now we choose pencil with quantity 2 and ID 3. Upon clicking add product, it says that the name pencil and the ID 3 are mismatched. That's right, because ID 3 is for milk 1 liter. So we choose pencil with quantity 2 and product ID 2. It updates the quantity of pencil from 2 to 4. We can also clear the cart and it clears everything. Now we have to repopulate the cart again. So after filling up the cart, we can click on proceed. On proceeding, a transaction has been initiated. Now we can generate the bill as a PDF. This bill contains the date of the transaction and all the items that have been transacted with their quantity, their MRP, the amount, and the total price that has to be paid. It also has the order ID for that transaction. Then we can see the transaction on the profile of the clerk. It has been added here. The date is 8 April. Then we move on to manager. We first log out of the clerk's account and then log into the manager's account. Here we can delete any clerks that might have left the supermarket. But we don't want to delete the clerk from the database so that the transactions are still visible to the manager. So we just turn their is active status to false. The clerk 6's is active status has been turned to false. After that, we move on to the edit inventory part, where we can edit the inventory, see it, and also add a new product. So if I want to edit a product, say pencil, I'll find the product and then click on edit. I can change its quantity, its cost price, and its selling price. Here I choose to edit its cost price, keeping it 18. Because of our business logic, in which we have stated that the cost price cannot be lesser than the selling price, otherwise the supermarket will have to face losses, we have placed an error check. So now we change the cost price to 8 and then save it. It gets edited. We can also add a new product, say banana. With a cost price of 10, a quantity of 100, and a selling price of 20. We have also added the necessary checks in this form too. Now banana already exists, so we need to create something else. Let us create an orange. So product has been added. We can see the added product in the view products button by pressing the view products button. Since banana was already added, it prevented us from adding it. And the orange that we just created has been added. Also, the manager can see the details of all the transactions. Here we can choose the clerk for which we want to see the transactions. Even the ones that have left the supermarket, they have not been deleted from the database because their is active status has been turned to false. We can activate them anytime by going on to the admin page that Django provides us. So let us see for clerk 1. These are all the transactions that the clerk 1 has made. We can do it for any other clerk. Clerk 4 has made just one transaction and it is this. We can also create a report of the transactions for a time frame of our choice. If I enter the date 5 here, start date 5 and an end date of nothing, it will automatically take the end date of today. We have all the other relevant checks in place that make sure that the dates entered are valid and also that the start date is not after the end date, etc. The graphs that are generated here are plotted using chart.js and thus are very interactive. We can hover over the graphs and see the values for those data points or the bars. So we can see here that the milk has been sold 19 times in that time frame. The same graph is shown here using bars in a bar graph format. If we see for Oreo, it has been sold 17 times, and similarly it is shown here. So the first graph is for quantity sold, the second graph is for profit made, and the third graph is for revenue realized. All of them on the y-axis with the products listed on the x-axis. Since this is using JavaScript, it is also interactive. So when we click on the name, it can make the graph disappear. So if some graph is not wanted, we can just have it removed. So after viewing the graphs, we can go back